Welcome to Mojo The Movies. I'm Eric, and today we're going to be talking about A Quiet Place. Now, if you like these kind of conversational pieces, make sure to subscribe to Mojo Talks. Today I'm joined by Liam. How you doing, Liam?
I'm pretty good.
Last night we went to see A Quiet Place, and we're going to answer the question, is this another Cloverfield? And you're a big Cloverfield fan.
I'm a huge Cloverfield.
So I want to know your thoughts. Does this fit in the larger Cloverfield universe?
I think the one thing it's missing is the J.J. Abrams producing credit, but I think this is something that could be adopted by the Cloverfield fan base as being like an unofficial.
That's happened before, right?
Yeah, I mean, Super 8 was basically not officially a Cloverfield movie, but I think fans have gone back and to that movie and been like, this is pretty much, it has all it's got the recipe for being a Cloverfield movie, you know.
So yeah, what does it mean? How does a film get assimilated into the Cloverfield multiverse?
I think, and I think J.J. Abrams has come out and said this, that he kind of wants to make the film version of The Twilight Zone, where every movie is kind of this small-scale story, but told in like a big way. So we saw that with like 10 Cloverfield Lane, and I think this definitely fits that mold, where it's such an interesting way to tell a story and such an original idea that I think all it's missing is really that like Cloverfield name.
So that might come in the future. But so let's talk about this movie. This is directed by John Krasinski, starring John Krasinski and Emily Blunt. Real life husband and wife who play husband and wife in the movie, and the cast, all told, is 7 people. It's them and their kids, and one guy credited as Man in the Woods.
Yeah.
But there is another entity in this movie, or a bunch of entities, that wreak havoc on the Earth. So it's like the year 2020 or 2021.
Yeah, it's the near future, I think, is what it's assumed to be.
And it's post-apocalyptic. Something happened around maybe 2016, around now-ish.
Yeah.
And all these creatures are there that will kill you if you make a sound.
Yeah. That's kind of what I liked about this movie, too, was that you really don't know where these creatures come from. It doesn't feed you really any answers, this movie. And I kind of like that about a movie, and I think tying it back into the Cloverfield thing is like, that is what's so great about the Cloverfield movies, is that they leave so much up to your imagination and so much up to how you think these events unfolded before and after the movie. And that's exactly what I loved about this movie, is that you really only get like from where the movie starts and where it ends, and you get how these people survive.
Right, there's very little exposition. We don't know what's happening in the rest of the world. We don't know, they're living on a farm and they're just surviving and doing everything they can to not make noise. And that's what I loved about this movie, is that, it kind of takes the genre and turns it on its head, and the hook is really that nothing can make a sound. And so as soon as anything does make a sound, these crazy creatures come and swoop in and just destroy you. Well, I think, the sound design or the sound mixing in this film really, first of all, that it helps amp the jump scares. So when everything is so silent and then something loud happens, it really kind of, it accentuates that, but it also makes you hyper aware of your surroundings.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's rare for a movie to do that, to make me aware that I'm in a theater, but I'm really into what's going on the screen, but somebody is walking up the steps and their footsteps are driving me mad.
Well, it's funny that you say that, because like last night there was a point in a really quiet scene where someone was walking down the aisle, and I think everyone in the theater just like turned to them, because like you're so aware of it. I think this was a really interesting way to tell a story, and I think John Krasinski, if he does horror again, he's got a really good career ahead of him, I think, if he's...
He did a great job directing this. The pacing is really good. He really created a reason to care about this family. And the dynamics between the family members was kind of well established. And the creatures themselves, I mean, it's hard to get it right in a horror movie if you are going to have otherworldly creatures. Either the danger is that you don't show enough of them and they're running and you just kind of get a flash of it, or you over fetishize it. But this, I found, you got a sense of what these monsters were. They were not pleasant in any way, shape, or form.
They don't show them too much also. Like I found similar to like your 10 Cloverfield Lane, where you just kind of get like them running across the frame, and that's all you get, and it's like really creepy because you're kind of piecing it together of what these monsters look like. I thought that was really interesting. And another interesting thing is we were talking about how this is produced by Michael Bay, and it's a very not Michael Bay movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Not one single explosion in this movie happens. Other than
I was very surprised to see Michael Bay's name attached to it. But you know, Krasinski really made it his own, and he co-wrote the movie with 2 other guys. And you know, getting back to the sound design and the monster, what I really liked is that you know, the clicking sounds of the monster. There was kind of a sonar-esque feel that you know, you can tell. So first of all, I guess it's important to say that the monsters can't see. So you know, they can live their lives visually, no problem. But there were a lot of things that were strange to me when it came to the no sound rule. Why is it that you know, in certain instances, they were able to talk because the sound was shielded by a waterfall.
Yeah.
But if they were inside their house, the walls wouldn't keep the sound away from the monster.
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely some problems, like nitpicky stuff, but as a whole, I think the movie overshadows that by being like so original.
Yeah, you have to suspend your disbelief, and there are certain things, you know, like why didn't they just text each other all the time? Why wasn't technology used more to its advantage?
Especially being in the near future, it's like you could write something in where you have that workaround of being, they could text each other, they can communicate in other ways. I don't know.
Now, and another thing, so you know, they have a baby. You know, they're living in this world where you can't make a sound. And I've had a baby, and I know how loud a baby can be. So there were certain things that didn't work, certain things that did. We don't want to spoil anything, but both you and I, when it ended, what a ballsy way to end
the entire theater was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I think the third act, for me, felt a bit rushed. I don't know about you.
A little bit.
There was some things where I was like, it could have gone better, but there's some ballsy stuff in that third act where it's like, I've never seen a movie on this, like with this budget or this kind of like this. It's kind of like an A-list movie. Take these routes, I guess, storytelling wise. But yeah,
I'd love to see the script. I mean, I think the original version of the script had 1 line of dialogue.
That's insane. There's probably like 4 or 5 lines of dialogue in the final version.
Yeah, they communicate with sign language or body language. And so, you know, an innovative script, innovative approach, fantastic ending. Like we said, not without its problems. You know, there's some, not structural, but there are some logical or reasoning problems that I had with it. But on the whole, I was on the edge of my seat the entire time.
I think there's like so many scenes that just start and you're like waiting for them to end because you just like don't want something to like jump out at you.
Would you say this is one of the scarier movies of the year?
I think it's probably gonna be the most intense movie of the year. I wouldn't say it's scary, more so as it's like really tense and like my hands were sweating throughout the movie. I don't know if that's like gross, but
no, that's good, and I think it's going to do really well at the box office. I think it might have a chance to do similar damage to something like Get Out. I don't know if it'll have the critical acclaim of Get Out, but so far it's like, you know, in the high 90s on Rotten Tomatoes.
At one point it was going at 100 strong. I think it's going to be a movie that lives on word of mouth. I think this will be a movie that people will be talking about for the rest of the year, for sure.
Well, we want to know what you guys think, so let us know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to Mojo Talks. Thank you, Liam.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next time.